Remnant from the Ashes is an underrated gem from 2019. It combines elements of Dark Souls and action RPGs like Diablo and Torchlight to create a tough third-person shooter action RPG with awesome co-op that sadly flew under the radar of many. And now it's finally coming to the Switch. So how does it hold up on Nintendo's handheld? At its heart, Remnant is a third-person shooter with guns that pack a serious punch, and the enemy designs are truly unique. It shows its Souls-like inspiration from having a healing flask that recharges every time you rest at a checkpoint, and enemies respawn when you rest as well. It also has a similar gear system to the likes of Dark Souls, where weapons and armor can be found around the world and upgraded with resources gathered from exploring and fighting. However, while it takes inspiration from Souls-likes, the rest of the game is set up like an action RPG. Dungeons are procedurally generated, and that includes their layout, enemy pool, and bosses, something which I only figured out this second time playing. I fought bosses here that I didn't end up seeing during my playthrough on the PS4, so it made going back to it a great experience. So as a result, don't expect the stellar area design that the Souls series has. The core loop is moving through levels and fighting enemies, killing bosses, and eventually dipping back to the hub to upgrade weapons and armor. And that's where I got hooked again. I was exploring every nook and cranny looking for more iron to improve my gear and craft new weapons. Each weapon could be equipped with a mod which adds that extra bit of build diversity. So I had a pistol that I could imbue with fire damage and a shotgun that could put down a healing rift for when I was struggling in a boss fight. But then you get into the unique weapons, and this is where the game shines. Some can be crafted from materials dropped by bosses, whereas others can be found in the world. During this playthrough, I found a beam rifle while exploring a dungeon, and it absolutely decimates enemies. And not only are these weapons cool in their own right, but they also come equipped with unique mods that are very powerful. Of course, the bosses are a massive part of the game. And while they give off some Dark Souls vibes, they are definitely easier than the one seen in the FromSoft title. Not that they are cakewalks either though. Boss fights are hit or miss. Some are so easy that you'll beat them on your first go without having to even think much about them, but there are a few standout bosses later in the game that are tough. While I don't have footage of it, one I can remember even after a few years was a butterfly boss that you fought on a narrow bridge. It was a severe challenge of cancelling their charge up attacks and juggling two of them at once. And these fights highlight how fun this game can be in co-op. Learning boss patterns and communicating which one to focus on and when the other was charging up an attack was exhilarating, and it's the best way to enjoy this game. Luckily, Remnant has an easy to understand co-op system, unlike the games it takes some inspiration from. You can join your friends online or through local wireless, explore the hub and levels together, and you don't get kicked out after fighting a boss. And of course, this game is an even bigger blast in co-op, but it's fun no matter how you play. With all that out of the way, how does it run on the Switch? To put it simply, it runs great. The frame rate was mostly solid, but there have been some serious graphical downgrades to keep this up. Character models, especially in cutscenes, are rather flat, and there's an odd artifact around models when close up. The resolution is also noticeably blurry in docked mode, but it's worth the trade-off since the game runs rather smoothly. Now, the lower resolution wasn't much of an issue in handheld mode, and I was simply happy to be playing this game on the go. Although I would have liked to see gyro aiming added, as I always preferred this when playing in handheld mode. In general, Remnant from the Ashes is a blast. It captures the essence of an action RPG, fighting a wide variety of enemies, exploring randomly generated dungeons, and having a co-op system makes it so much better. The extra elements like hard enough bosses and upgrading your gear and character make the loop even more satisfying. While it has some similarities to Souls games, don't be expecting the airtight boss and area design, but that never affected my enjoyment as it's plain and simple fun. The port is solid, running quite smoothly, which is way better than most ports on the Switch nowadays, and as a result, I liked Remnant from the Ashes a lot. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate your time. Don't forget to subscribe and check out that video on the left. I'll see you all on the next video.